Tonight on Cougar News, a tragic accident involving local students occurred in Northern California.
Plus, are the administrators trying to cancel spring break?
Also, we take an in-depth look at the consequences of performance-enhancing drugs. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Alyssa Dickert.
And I'm Jessica Canales. Here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. This weekend, a major accident occurred in Northern California. The bus filled with students collided with a FedEx truck on Interstate 5, killing 10 students and injuring at least 34. Media outlets from across the country gathered in Orland, California, a city about 100 miles north of Sacramento, over spring break. Evidence shows that the delivery truck swerved over a median and into oncoming traffic, hitting a car prior to the bus. After a few minutes, both vehicles burst into flames. Of the 10 dead, 5 were students, 3 were chaperones, and both drivers were killed as well. Stephen Clavejo, a West Ranch High School senior, was on one of the buses that crashed, but was reluctant to talk about his experience. He is at home and, according to sources close to him, is having trouble sleeping.
There was a car accident on McBean Parkway and on the 5 southbound exit Monday. A GMC Yukon XL hit a Dodge SUV that was exiting the 5 South heading towards McBean Parkway from Stevenson Ranch Road in Valencia. Both cars had their airbags deployed due to the collision, and both drivers sustained minor injuries. While the GMC driver stated he was not at fault and the Dodge SUV ran a red light, police officers are still carrying out an investigation on the incident.
The ghost of the Cold War bubbled to the surface in early March when Russia suddenly seized the Crimean region in Ukraine. But how are COC students to understand a conflict thousands of miles away? Against pro-Russian separatists in Kramatorsk, Ukraine, a region close to the Russian border, despite warnings from Moscow to leave the protesters alone. This is one of the many confrontations between the two countries since the annexation of Crimea by Russia last month, where many Crimeans voted in favor of the annexation. While the United States and the European Union have shown their disdain for the expansion of Russian territory by imposing sanctions and removing Russia from the G8, Russian President Vladimir Putin has held a different philosophy.
From a Russian standpoint, any country that's had a large bloc or sphere of influence, they tend not to want to let that go. And ever since the end of the Cold War over 20 years ago, there has been a repositioning of countries in terms of, are they going to side with the West or the East with Russia?
Professor Andrus believes economic sanctions might not be the best course of action for the EU, since many European countries are dependent on Russia.
Russia supplies something in the nature of 35, maybe 40% of Europe's natural gas and some oil and so forth, and specifically Germany and Italy and other countries. And so they rely upon that. At the same time, Russia needs, obviously, to make money off of those sales.
Like several Ukrainian citizens, a former COC student and current Ukrainian resident, Tatiana Rusin, does not agree with Russia invading Ukraine. Ms. Rusin said, "Stop Putin, save lives, stand with Ukraine. The only thing about the revolution that is very sad and painful to read about is the news of our heroes who died for Ukraine." Is peace possible in Ukraine? Many separatists believe no. I'm Jessica Canales for Cougar News.
Hiking has become a popular method of exercise, but as our own Matt Robinson tells us, sometimes it may get a little tricky.
I've even been on the other side of those ridges. I don't know. Can't really, it's hard to tell from this angle until you get out there, and I'm not about to go back out there again.
22 hours was the amount of time Brian Napley spent out there, lost in the thick brush of Towsley Canyon.
I got rescued around 10:45, I believe, on the 11th.
An experienced hiker, Brian was in Towsley for a class project when the unexpected happened.
My foot gave, and I tumbled about, I'd say 50 to 70 yards down the mountain, got knocked out.
After regaining consciousness, Brian scaled a hillside, attempting to signal rescuers, but was unable to, which forced him to stay overnight in the freezing temperatures.
They said it got to be about 20 to 30 degrees that night. And all I had on were these actual shorts, a wife beater, and I had a good conversation with God, and Didn't think I was gonna get out of here.
Most of the 22 hours Brian was lost were spent on a hillside, in trees and brush, much like what I'm standing in now, which made it very difficult for rescuers who were trying to find him. Search and rescue teams in helicopters and on foot searched for the lost hiker, but it was his family who found him in the end.
Ended up being my aunt and uncle that heard me screaming and saw me waving my shorts on a dead tree. I had to wait for another helicopter, the actual rescue helicopter, to come and airlift me out. I didn't think anything was wrong with me. I was ready to drive my car home right after I got off the helicopter, but they had me checked out, and it turned out I had a pneumothorax, I had a punctured lung, I had a spinal cord issue.
Despite the hospital stay and the life-threatening 22 hours spent on the Towsley Canyon hillside, Brian says he will continue to get away from everyday life on the local hiking trails. Matt Robinson, Cougar News.
And now it's time for the Cougar Update.
We have Richard Gutierrez here to tell us the latest.
Thank you, guys. Molestation charges have been dropped for teacher Carl Estrella, who was arrested back in February for being accused of molesting a child at Legacy Christian Academy in Valencia. Estrella, who taught computer science, was arrested when an 11-year-old boy made accusations of inappropriate touching and behavior. Estrella was greeted by over 80 parents and past students wearing t-shirts that read, "The truth will prevail," in support of Estrella. What would you do if you were told to stand still while aboard a sinking boat? This is exactly what passengers aboard South Korean ferry were told to do while it sank in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The ship ran into trouble at about 9 a.m., but exactly what caused the ship to sink remains unknown. While at least 164 have been rescued, over 300 people remain unaccounted for. Opponents of the city council's vote to locate 3 electronic billboards in Santa Clarita freeways in exchange for removing aging billboards throughout the city have launched a force to get the decision reversed. Opponents of the team's decision teamed up with outdoor advertising interests that stand to lose money on the city's agreement. They will work together to get the decision reversed. Opponents have until May 5th to collect 13,000 to 17,000 signatures on petitions supporting the referendum. Back to you guys.
While COC students enjoyed spring break, Laureen West and Marsha McLean were re-elected to the Santa Clarita City Council. But it wasn't until yesterday that Dante Acosta officially punched his ticket. Acosta edged Ferdman by a mere 104 votes. It's never too early to think about the next important election. 4 candidates squared off in a lively debate at SCV-TV for the 36th Assembly seat that is up for grabs this November. This primary is this June. Cougar News reporter Haley Cook was one of the 3 local media members, along with moderator SCV-TV President Leon Warden, to challenge the panel on several issues, including the California drought.
Leadership in Sacramento is not doing anything to address it. We need to build reservoirs and we need to put water in them.
We need to actually have water banking both above ground and below ground, and we need to plan for the future. Also coupled with our conservation efforts, and our public needs to understand the severity of this challenge that we're all faced with.
The problem is that Sacramento hasn't planned for this water issue. We need better water management. We need to expand our reservoirs, use our water supply wisely.
I don't agree with the governor's current plan where he wants to put 2 pipes that bring the water down here. The problem is that the water's not up there. There's nothing to bring us here. What we really need is more above ground reservoirs.
You can see the candidates forum in its entirety tomorrow night at 8 p.m. right here at SCV-TV.
The California Highway Patrol is cracking down on distracted driving in hopes that maybe the threat of a citation will help prevent more accidents. Cougar News reporter Tigran Matarosian has more.
Before the first time you ever put the keys into the ignition, you were probably told, keep your entire focus on the road.
If you're driving in a hazardous fashion, you may be cited. Distracted driving is just as dangerous as driving under the influence of either drugs or alcohol.
According to the research, Deputy Cohen is right on the money. In 2012, an estimated 421,000 people were injured in a car accident involving a distracted driver. And engaging in visual tasks while driving increases the risk of a crash by up to 3 times. And while the advancement of technology in our cars are attempting to prevent distracted driving, it's technology itself that has kept our attention elsewhere.
It's not a good idea. When you're actually on the road and you're like answering a text, you're reading a text, and I see everybody do it all the time.
In a study done by Kleiner, Perkins, Caulfield, and Byers, it was determined that the average person checks their phone approximately 150 times per day. So what makes us prone to checking them while driving, knowing the possible consequences? In a study done by textinganddrivingsafety.com, 77% of young adults stated that they're confident they can safely text while driving. And it doesn't help that 15% of young adults have at one point witnessed their parents texting while driving.
The hands-free law states that if you are operating a motor vehicle, even if you're stopped at a stop sign, that you need to be on a hands-free device.
Reporting from Valencia, I'm Tegan Martirosyan, Cougar News.
The debate over spring break has been going on for as long as it's been around, it seems, and it's finally affecting COC. Taylor Villanueva takes us into a more in-depth look.
Spring break, one of the biggest traditions of college life. There are even websites dedicated to comparing the dates of spring break between different colleges throughout the United States. But what if spring break didn't exist? That is a question that College of the Canyons faculty members had to evaluate 3 weeks ago.
The faculty do have input, significant input into the scheduling of their workload, which is a specific number of days. And so the calendar subcommittee, which is part of the academic senate, sits with district folks, and actually they may propose new calendars.
But getting rid of spring break does not mean more days of class.
They're calling it modified, but what it does is it only takes 2 days out of the week. So it takes the Thursday and Friday of the traditional midpoint spring break week, and then it cuts off the 3 days that are added back, right, which are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It subtracts those from the end of the semester. So it has to be the same number of days.
So how do COC students feel about this possible change of the school calendar?
I don't see how canceling spring break would help students. It's a much needed break after, the first part of the semester. You get to spring break, and I think I speak on behalf of every student when I say that we look forward to that. So to cancel it, I think, would be a mistake.
We need our break. We need our break. Yeah.
Fortunately for these students, many staff members agree.
We found out that 75% of the full-time that took the survey, if you will, want to keep the traditional schedule.
As of right now, College of the Canyons will keep its current calendar schedule. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Taylor Villanueva.
$8 an hour is the current minimum wage in California. In July, it will raise to $9. Do you think that's enough for college students to live off of? Ryan Nelson tells us more.
Minimum wage is a reoccurring problem in California. These coffee shop workers behind me know that feeling just as much as any other college student out there. I was given the opportunity to interview Anthony Michaelides about minimum wage in California and how it affects college students.
Technology, each technical thing or movement tends to take away jobs that people did with their hands and replaces them and so on. The angle of the article, though, was focusing on the fact that we need technically trained people to be able to control the technology. So there are new positions being created all the time as well. Well, with the planned minimum wage increase, the movement to increase the minimum wage for primarily it's going to be the entry-level type positions to get it up over $9 an hour. I think there's probably going to be some pluses and minuses that are going to take place. First of all, first thing from the business side is how are we going to afford all the workers? If we were to increase everyone to $9 versus $8, how much is it going to cost us? Is there going to be a cost right off the top? A business's response, if they have the budget to do it, if they see it as a positive thing, will find a way to do it. What many businesses are going to unfortunately be in the position where they don't have the funding to do it, are going to have to decide, do we cut staff? Do we go to part-time staff instead of full-time staff? Do we cut benefits from the full-time staff to make up for the, so there's a lot of issues that are going to happen. It's really stirred the pot up quite a bit. I think businesses are having to deal with the reality that it's probably going to happen in the health of their school. So,
from Cougar News, this is Ryan Nelson.
Coming up next on Cougar News, we take a closer look on the legacy of Cesar Chavez.
Plus, you'll see how we got an exclusive look on the latest Southern California attraction. Stay tuned.
You're so worthless. Why don't you just go kill yourself?
It's the first time I've ever seen the same letter grade across all your classes.
Get out! What's right? Can't shut with me. Nobody wants to beat it.
I'm Richard Horvitz.
I'm Tara Strong.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamarelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
I'm the Grinch.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching. You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you lucky people are watching.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News. You're watching Cougar News. So this is for the older ladies.
And I'm a cougar.
Welcome back. COC is proud to present a thought-provoking lecture and book signing by well-known anti-racist writer and educator Tim Wise. We will discuss the ideas of colorblindness and argue in favor of deeper levels of color consciousness in both public and private practice. Wise has written 6 books and has spoken at over 1,000 college campuses. The lecture, Colorblind, The Rise of Post-Racial Politics and the Retreat from Racial Equality, will begin at 2:30 p.m. Monday, April 21st in the PAC.
The 5th Annual American Sign Language Club Spring Festival is this Saturday at 1 p.m. in the Honor Grove at COC. The event kicks off a week of activities culminating with Keith Wan's ASL Comedy Tour at the PAC on Saturday night. The show features 5 comedians, 2 of which are children of deaf parents. The routine is designed to entertain both a hearing and deaf audience. COC ASL instructor Brittany Eplin is excited about what's ahead.
On Monday, which we can't tell you where we'll be, but look out for us. We'll be signing and singing along around campus to Sign Song. In addition to that, we have a discussion panel on Tuesday with deaf panelists. On Wednesday, we're showing the film See What I'm Saying, the Deaf Entertainers documentary. And on Thursday, we have a dodgeball competition, all in sign language, so everyone's welcome to come to that. And then next Saturday, we have our big event at the PAC, as well as 2 workshops.
With the recent film Cesar Chavez, History is Made One Step at a Time in theaters, our Antonia Carell gives us a closer look in the celebration of the life of the global icon.
People came from all over to Little Rock Palmdale to enjoy arts and crafts, live music, and of course, food. All in part for Cesar Chavez Day.
Hi, I'm Anna Marie Dye Martin. I'm the chairperson for the 2nd annual Cesar Chavez event. I'm a volunteer to help the community make aware of who Cesar Chavez was, to celebrate what he did for our community, for the Hispanic community, and to educate the people. A lot of people don't know who Cesar Chavez was, and also to bring the people together. So we gathered together with the vendors and the food and the folklorico dancers and the bands, and to have a good time to celebrate Cesar Chavez Day.
As people gather around to celebrate the life and legacy of Cesar Chavez, his grandson Andres was here and shared some words about his inspirational grandfather.
He had a middle-class lifestyle and he gave it up to help organize farm workers, the poorest of this nation's poor. But he believed that he could bring about change. But he also knew that it took more than one person to start a movement, right? What he liked to say is that his job as an organizer was to help ordinary people do extraordinary things. And that's why we're out here today. We're trying to get these ordinary people just like me and you. We're all ordinary people, but we're trying to inspire them to do extraordinary things. And so anytime we can, anytime we're out here, anytime we can be spreading the message of Cesar Chavez, of the farm worker movement, talking about nonviolence, community, all these good causes, then we're full force behind it, and we hope that we can bring about change and make this world a little better.
For Cougar News, I'm Antonio Curiel.
Cheese was the talk of the town when the Newhall Art Slam combined food and art with cheese. Richard Gutierrez has more.
Cheese was the star of the show Thursday, April 3rd at the Art Slam in Newhall.
Well, cheese is absolutely one of our favorite food sources to use, and we believe that cheese should be in every course of your meal. What we're doing tonight is our Havarti cheese with our whiskey caramel pecan sauce, and it's a good introduction to people because they don't think of cheese as really part of a dessert.
Local artists and restaurant representatives gather to show their cheesy masterpieces and give locals a try of their delicious food items. And of course, all had something to do with cheese.
I'm one of the artists in the Santa Clarita Artists Association, and I was trying to think, what could I paint? And then I remembered John Belushi of Saturday Night Live. He had a skit. He was always doing cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. So I had to paint a cheeseburger.
For Cougar News, I'm Richard Gutierrez.
There's plenty to do here in the city of Santa Clarita, and as our own Aldo Canepa shows us, Thursday nights are full of fun and excitement.
If you drive past downtown Newhall on a Thursday night, you might find something interesting. From music to food to interesting contraptions, there's something for everyone.
This is our Rube Goldberg machine. We will drop a marble ball down this, and it will keep on going back and forth. It will spin around, and this basket will come up, and this basket would trigger the lights.
It's really good for people to connect. Everybody can connect to the circles, through the rhythms, and understanding where a downbeat is. Everybody can jive together and listen to each other. It's very good.
You don't have to know how to play it. Just hit it. Here's a rhythm. You don't have to know the language. You know, you could not know the same language. I can speak a totally different language. We can still communicate with your music.
So if you're ever looking for something to do on a Thursday night, be sure to drop by Thursdays in Newhall, because you never know which bright idea you might see. For Cougar News, I'm Aldo Canepa.
And now it's time for entertainment.
We have Darian here to let us know the latest update on entertainment news. What's happened since spring break?
Well, thank you. And creators of the hit film series Despicable Me brought the series to life as Universal Studios held the grand opening of its latest edition. Our own Lindsay Maxitopoulos brings us all the excitement.
The Minions take over Hollywood as Universal Studios introduces its newest attraction, Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, The Ride. Both celebrities and creators of the ride lined up on the yellow carpet to share in the excitement of the new ride.
I'm just excited, yeah, awesome. It's funny, we get to see the Minions in person.
I'm just excited. I'm like a big kid, so it should be fun.
I actually want to see if I can get her on. I want to see her reaction to it. That's the best part of it for me.
And you can expect becoming a Minion because you become a Minion. That does not happen every day. So that's always fun. But just a lot of little surprises, and we get to be kind of part of the action. So it's fun.
So whether you're a Minion or just a kid at heart like me, come check out Minion Mayhem and Super Silly Funland here at Universal Studios. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Lindsay Maxitopoulos.
Many celebrities went up north to Indio to experience the first weekend of Coachella. Enjoying the music festival were both Kylie and Kendall Jenner, along with Selena Gomez. Supermodel Alessandra Ambrosio and Oscar winner Jared Leto were spotted, just to name a few. Justin Bieber made a surprise guest appearance on stage with Chance the Rapper. Beyoncé also surprised fans by singing and dancing along with her sister on stage, Solange. It will be interesting to see who makes an appearance this weekend. Here in the Santa Clarita Valley, a local theater is alive and thriving. And now a new production brings a timeless classic from the 1920s. Haiti Boyle has more.
At the corner of Main and 6th in Newhall, you'll find the Canyon Theater Guild, where Singing in the Rain will be presented.
We're really excited about the show. This was a movie made in the 1950s, Singing in the Rain with Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor and Gene Kelly, opening Memorial Day weekend. We usually have a long rehearsal process for a musical of 10 weeks, but we started 4 weeks earlier than normal with this show because there's some really intense tap dancing around it.
Productions can be just as professional productions, but we don't get paid, most of us. So Singing in the Rain is one of the shows that we're doing, and it really lets people walk down memory lane in theater. We're going to have a full rain shower on stage.
One of the most challenging things that we're going to be doing in Singing in the Rain is
we're going to make it rain on stage. And not just rain a little bit, but rain enough so that you're raining on the actors.
Singing in the Rain is about Hollywood in the late 1920s. Talking movies were just being thought about.
Singing in the Rain has a spot for you. For more information and showtimes, go to canyonstheater.org.
Need plans this Friday night? COC is hosting their Friday Night Film Festival, screening 3 award-winning films, starting with Kill Your Darlings at 4:30, followed by 20 Feet from Stardom, and wrapping up with Blue Jasmine. The screening will take place in Hasley Hall, room 101, and admission is free of charge. Cal Arts held their spring concert over the weekend. Our very own Robert Uolola was there to give us all the action.
This is Robert Uloa reporting for Cougar News. I'm here at Cal Arts in Valencia, California to cover the 2014 PAC Spring Concert that will be held today at the Wild Beast Theater.
My name is Derek Spiva, and I work for the Community Arts Partnership, which is a nonprofit organization run out of Cal Arts. We offer music courses and art courses to the community at large, San Fernando, pretty much LA County. And this particular program is the Saturday music program. So a lot of it is music oriented. The kids come and they play instruments. We've got various instruments, orchestral instruments, wind instruments, and percussion instruments. The kids do a lot of work throughout the year. It's a 10-week session per semester, so a total of 20 weeks that the kids work on putting together music for a concert at the end of the second semester.
Hi, I'm Byron Steyer. My son Drew is here in the Cal Arts program on weekends, and it's been a great experience for him to learn a whole array of music activities, performance, as well as recording and some of the music theory as well. And just a great opportunity for him to supplement what he's getting in school with something on the weekends. So enjoying the day and enjoying the concert.
As you can tell, the 2014 CAP Spring Concert has come to an end. Another successful evening with several talented individuals playing their music and making wonderful sounds for the audience here at Cal Arts. Back to you at the studio.
That will do it for this edition of Entertainment. I'm Darren Honori. Back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Darian. Where can you find camera gear and executive all in one place? The NAB Convention in Las Vegas is where all of it comes together. Our own Moshe Mailon takes us through the convention and shows us just how important it is to be there.
The NAB show is the second largest broadcast convention held in the United States every year. It showcases the equipment, workflow devices, and industry professionals needed to make it in this business. I'm here at the 2014 NAB Convention in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thousands of patrons from around the nation come to see hundreds of vendors from Sony to Canon to a host of others. We'll be seeing lots of goodies for all you broadcast professionals and those who want to be in the broadcast industry. This is where you need to be. Come take a look. Let's see what we can find. Cameras from everybody you can think of. Lighting rigs, lenses, accessories, lots of literature, and even some makeup artists. I visited the career day and talked to a few people.
The NAB's Education Foundation basically supports educating broadcasters at every level of their career. We also support diversity, and so we make sure that all of our programs are very diverse. And we support community service. And so we highlight with our Service to America Gala every year the great work that broadcasters do throughout the country.
I've really enjoyed it. Like I said, we've gone to a lot of print-orientated conferences, and this one's totally broadcast, which is what I'm trying to do.
And it's some of the highlights I've liked is like on-air presence. I'm trying to be on air, like this resume critiquing, just stuff really geared towards broadcasting. And I have never been to one, so it's really good because that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for.
I think this is really important. You do have to pay, but it's really important because you get great tips. You network a lot, which in this business, it's more about who you know, not who you know.
This in particular is great for anyone because of the networking possibilities. Since we've been here, we've been able to reach thousands of people and let them know what Got Your Six is about and what VFT is about. And so lots of them are excited to hire veterans because they had never thought of veterans in the entertainment industry.
As you can see, there's so much stuff to do here. It takes days to get through everything. I've been here for about 4 days and I still haven't seen everything. I've seen a lot of stuff that I like, some stuff that I didn't really know about, but I'm learning. You should be out here too. So next time, get your butt on down to Las Vegas, Nevada for the NAB Convention. And I'll see you next time. This is Moshe Milan for Cougar News.
Have you ever wondered what position the moon is in or which constellation shines the brightest? Look no further as COC happily hosts its biannual Star Party. Located in the Canyon Country campus, COC welcomes families to explore the wonders of space as local astronomers bring dozens of telescopes so you can get an up-close view of the night sky. Be sure to go to www.canyons.edu/CCC for all the details.
Still to come on Cougar News, see how Santa Clarita is doing its part in helping the environment.
Also, we bring the latest action in the girls' softball. Stay tuned.
When you're in the mood for endless Italian dishes, Vincenzo's Pizza is your one-stop shop.
From their hand-tossed thin crust pizzas,
to their meaty Chicago dogs and their toasty sandwiches, to their creamy chicken Alfredo pasta.
I love their chicken Alfredo pasta.
Vincenzo's Newhall has exactly what your appetite desires.
With fresh ingredients, 12 cold beers on tap, and live entertainment on the weekend, you will not be disappointed.
Vincenzo's Pizza, inch for inch, the best pizza in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
Knock out cancer! You're watching Cougar News!
The COC Art Gallery opened a new exhibit over spring break, and it's one that might pique your interest. Christiane Kimberlin has more.
The College of the Canyons Art Gallery's current exhibition is called Garden of the Poet, Iran and Beyond by abstract artist Francine Matarazzo. It will be displayed from now till May 1st. Her art pieces depicts visuals that inspired her while traveling in North Africa, the Middle East, and Central Asia. This shows, touches, and explores her travels in India, Tanzania, and Morocco, but especially explores Matarazzo's 3 years residing in Iran. She turned to Persian poetry and visuals for her inspiration. She considers her artwork the visual poems that speak about love and range of love's emotions. Matarazzo considers each piece forms a memory marker for her, drawn from the wells of experiences that she's had in lands far away. Her large and small-scale works include painted surfaces, collaged elements, and passages of pastel and pencil calligraphy. Pieces of old canvases are resurrected as accents. Leaves of rice paper spice the surface along with the sketchbooks collected over the years that have been cut up and added as well as graph paper. This ultimately divorced her from the restrictions of canvas and paint, though each of Matarazzo's creations is able to be positioned and coexist by her conventional paintings. Francine Matarazzo has public permanent collections at the New Britain Museum of American Art in New Britain, Connecticut, and the Laguna Art Museum in Laguna Beach, California. The gallery's hours are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Monday by appointment. The gallery is located College of the Canyon in the Media Arts Entertainment Building on the lower level. For more information, you can contact larry.hurst@canyons.edu. This is Christiane Kimberlin, reporter for Cougar News, and back to you at the studio.
Now switching gears, we have Adam Schooms here to give us a sports report.
Now, Adam, I hear the Lady Cougars are packing some real firepower.
Oh, they did, and you'll see it later. But let's talk about the baseball team first. While students are preparing for a month and a half of school, the Cougar baseball team only has 3 games left after their game against Cypress today. They'll end the season playing Bakersfield College, a school the softball team is too familiar with after an 11-6 loss last Thursday. The softball team came back home Tuesday for a doubleheader against Santa Monica. Since the Cougars won the first game in a little under an hour 3-0 over Santa Monica, they said, hey, let's play another. We pick it up in the bottom of the 4th with 1 out, and Venice Osari is up to bat, and she crushes the pitch to deep left center, and that ball is gone. She'll touch them all by herself for a solo shot to put the Cougars up 3-1. Hey, coach, put me in. I'm just loosening my arm. Maybe the in-between innings songs is a little bit of foreshadowing as the Cougars bats would wake up in the bottom of the 6th. As sophomore catcher Adriana Correa sends the ball to deep left field, and 210 feet later, that ball is gone. A 3-run homer, and the Cougars would go on to win 9-1. Batter up. Just a couple years ago, Ruby Herrera was a part of the COC softball team, and she still is, but now she's an assistant coach. Yvette Sanchez spoke to Ruby about her love of the game and where she sees herself in the future.
Not long ago, it was Ruby working on her swing and running laps, but now she's the one calling the shots.
I definitely do. It's just them trying to figure it out for themselves. They're really young this year, so they have a lot to learn, which they'll end up learning by the time they come around to their second season. They're definitely going to learn a lot. It's just about them having more belief in themselves than anything else, and being more of having a team effort and being there for one another instead of being having their own selfish needs.
It's clear to see and safe to say that Ruby accomplished one of her biggest goals.
Definitely something I saw myself doing, especially because I love the game and I'm around it for so long. And I can definitely see myself doing it later in the future, maybe even getting a head job somewhere else.
With her love and dedication to the sport of softball, Ruby's destined to hit a grand slam, whether it be on the field or here coaching a brand new group of girls at COC. For Cougar News, I'm Yvette Sanchez.
What would you risk to be the best in the game? Darren Honori gives you the further look into the decision athletes face all the time.
Comes to sports, how far would you go to be the best? Many student athletes are faced with this decision every single day. Performance enhancement drug rates in student athletes have increased over the last decade. As the number of users increases, the age of users has decreased.
There's really no age to be doing it. It's a drug. I mean, you shouldn't be taking it at no matter what age, but if we're talking about like an adult, yeah, most of them were like 17 around the time they started.
Since COC and other community colleges don't test for PEDs due to budget constraints, there's no other way to know an athlete is using other than to look for injuries in the athletes.
Athletes that are using steroids consistently, they're going to start having problems where their muscle and their tendons connect. So you're going to start to get a breakdown in those tendons, sometimes even ruptures, or then even in like their joints and their bones, they're going to start having like a lot of pain in their joints.
Student athletes as young as 16 have been taking creatine over the years. Creatine isn't an official PED. Instead, it's named a performance supplement. And since supplements are seen as food and not drugs by the FDA, the manufacturers don't have to conform to the same drug standards. But supplements can contain other substances that will test positive for PEDs.
The main side effect of creatine would be, damage to the kidneys or kidney failure to the point where they have to go to the hospital, get an IV, and get rehydrated.
Performance enhancement drugs are not accepted in any sport, but some don't see what the big deal is.
I don't have nothing against it. This is what you're living. This is all you know. This is your paycheck. This is what puts food on the table for your family. There's always going to be someone younger, faster, and stronger than you coming up to steal your job, and you need to do whatever you can to stay in the show. And I am not against them.
The whole point of steroids was so that you could work out and do better in your sport, be able to perform better. But if you're ending up with these nagging injuries that are a result of the steroid use, now you're just defeating the purpose of using it in the first place.
There's many risks when taking PEDs, but then again, there's many risks when doing anything in life. So how far would you go to be the greatest? For Cougar News, I'm Darren Inori.
Tomorrow, the Cougars will head to Los Angeles Valley College to compete in the Western State Championships. The meet will last until Saturday with prelims starting at 10 a.m. and finals starting at 6 p.m. Swimmers who make the state qualifying time will advance to swim in the state meet the following weekend. Santa Clarita has been known for having a rich history for developing swimmers. They have found their next two Olympic hopefuls in Hart High School swimmer Cole Cogswell and Saugus star Abby Weitzel. I was able to catch up with the two during their busy schedule and found out they have some things in common. An injury in swimming can happen at any point.
I was just coming into the finish on 50 free, and I thought I had enough room for another stroke, but I didn't. So I kind of came into the wall a little hard, and my thumb caught the gutter, and it dislocated.
For junior Cole Cogswell, missing out on the majority of his sophomore season hurt more than the injury itself.
It was pretty tough. I mean, I really missed being in the pool, but I liked being able to see them and watch them do well.
According to collegeswimming.com, Cole is a third-rated junior swimmer in the state of California and is ready to swim his way to the top.
I'd like to come back and be able to do what I couldn't do last year.
Not only has Cole used determination to become a great swimmer, but the support of his girlfriend who trains alongside him, and a new coach who's helped him adapt to a new method of training.
They're both natural athletes, and it didn't take them long to basically become ingrained in the type of training we do.
Cole's significant other is Saugus High School phenom, Abby Weitzel.
I think it's fun to just be able to be in the same sport and cheer them on at meets and just kind of reach success with them and build with them.
Like Cole, Abby's only a junior and is already a member of the national junior team. But like any competitor, she is focused on the next obstacle.
My goals for this summer are to make the national team. I think I can do it.
As memories are made and races are won. Santa Clarita's new power couple is ready to swim to new heights.
I want to make the Olympic team.
My goal is to make the Olympic team.
Adam Schoombs, Cougar News. Time to dry off. Moving from the pool to the links, the men's golf team is on another tear. The WSC Powerhouse team is making another run for state championships, and our own Darian Inori caught up with the team and talked about their success.
First place are words that the College of the Canyons men's golf team has been used to hearing throughout the years. The team has won the Western State Conference 4 years in a row, and 5 could be in the near future. The team is #1 in Southern California and #1 in conference with a 40-2 record. Leading the team are Sydney Wolf, Aaron Grimes, and Jonas Dahl. Wolf is a sophomore from France with plans to go pro in the future.
Yeah, try to be patient and try to stay calm on the course to see after what it reserves.
Grimes is a Southern California native who hopes to transfer to USC.
In the future, I just want to get my scoring average probably down. I want to try and get a number with a 6 in front of it. And I want to try to play pretty good at state and in regionals and all that for the team.
Dahl is a freshman from Norway who may stay at COC next year.
We just play as we've done until now, then I think we're going to win.
While COC men's golf team isn't on everybody's radar, they definitely will be by semester's end. Reporting from Robinson Ranch, I'm Darren Inori, Cougar News.
So, I've been walking around campus a little bit, and campus feels a little bare. What's going on, guys?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Adam, because over the spring break, 4 eucalyptus trees were cut down. And those trees were surrounding the amphitheater. Strong winds have caused branches to fall, creating a danger for students and faculty. Eucalyptus trees are not native to Southern California and don't hold up well in our strong winds due to their shallow roots. The trees were so large that there was a good chance that one could be blown down. The school decided to hire a maintenance crew to remove trees and eliminate the hazard.
Some may forget to appreciate Mother Nature, but Arbor Day remains a time for many to reflect on the art of taking care of our planet. Lindsay Maxitopoulos gives us a more in-depth look.
Digging up dirt may seem like a dreadful task, but for the people here at Central Park's Arbor Day, it is definitely worth the backache.
I actually came to get soil for my plants. I'm actually growing some of the vegetables like tomatoes, onions, and celery, oregano, and I thought why not come and get some free soil.
I started planting vegetables and herbs. So as of right now, I'm glad with my lemons, especially because lemons right now, I think they are like $3.50 a pound. And it feels really good to just go to the backyard and pick up some lemons and make some fresh lemonade. I have mint.
Oh, it's very beneficial because it producing your own, of course, it's economical, and then of course to be able to share with family and friends, it helps, but also for the earth because it gives back.
And for those who'd rather not get their hands dirty with gardening, there are creative ways to give back to the environment for both kids and adults. Whoever said helping the earth couldn't be fun? Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Lindsay Maxitopoulos.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Jessica Nolles. Remember, you can always catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Alyssa Dicker. You can send us news tips and story ideas at cougarnews@canyons.edu. Have a great evening, everyone.